Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Angel.
and we're here hosting another video on onlinefilipinodating.com. So we're talking about, dating the Filipina and Filipina dating, and we've come up with a 5 steps to start, and then another 5 steps to finish. So this is the second half of that. So you're going to see steps 6 through 10 on here, and let's just get going. But before we start, I still need to remind people about why are we doing this. Why are we seeking to grab and to have a relationship with the Filipino? What do you think we're looking for?
Because you're looking for a serious relationship.
Yes, somebody in a serious relationship that is beautiful, that is
Kind.
smart, kind, and somebody that can love us forever.
Yeah, and responsible to the family.
Yeah. So in our last one, we talked about how you get up to step 5. Step 6 again is keeping track of all these women that are going to be responding to you. And let me just take a quick note here. In the U.S., or let me say the Western world, any Western world, you're going to see people who reply to these websites, the women, you send out a wink to say 50, 60, or 100 girls, they're not going to wink back at you. They're barely going to even say anything to you. Why? Because they probably have 50 men to every one woman on these dating sites, and there's just not enough room. Even if they do say there's plenty of fish in the ocean, there's just too much ocean to get around. So you're going to start developing these replies back from the Philippines. So on using your online dating platform, you're going to send out 200 winks or questions to the girls that you've sorted, and don't be surprised if you get 75 or 80% response from those people.
Yeah, and who winked us? Who winked to us? Is it you or me?
I don't know. It had to have been me. It had to have been me because
I was viewing his profile. There's a lot of pictures and it's all vacation pictures, so it's fun to watch.
yeah, she was stalking me online. No, I'm kidding. No, that's not nice. I love you. Okay, so to keep track of this, you need to open a Word document. You need to have something as simple as a file folder that you can start handwriting your notes about these girls. Because when you're starting to ask questions, sure, you can always go back and read the last messages that you sent to them. But when you're sending a lot of messages, like 4 or 5 or 6 messages with somebody, that might take up 5 or 6 screens that you can summarize in 3 or 4 words. Maybe something in your little note, you might, if you don't mind, if they have kids, you could put has 2 boys and a girl, their ages, maybe their names. So when you're going back and communicating with her again, you're not going to make the mistake of saying, oh, you've got two girls and a boy. They're saying, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because it's not. I mean, they know that you're looking at other women and other profiles because that's what you're doing. That is part of the online dating program. But you don't really want to admit to it. It's just not in good taste.
I'm glad you didn't make mistake to me.
Yeah, that is true. But it is easy, so you got to have something to keep track of you. And using a Word document that can keep track of all the questions, maybe there's certain things you want to compare with all the women that you're working with, such as maybe education might be important, where they live, what island is important. You want to put down what what your first question was, maybe their answer, maybe that's important to you. But you're going to have pages for all these people and the dates of when they replied. Because if somebody doesn't reply to you in 2 weeks, they are now disqualified. You want to find people that are actively searching, people that are going to communicate with you, and people that are going to make it easy for you to make all of these choices as your funnel gets smaller and smaller all the way down.
Yeah.
On there. So using a simple word one. So next is have a safe system, use it, have the same questions that you're going to ask all of them, keep track of the same things. Maybe in the middle you're going to talk about kids, maybe at the bottom you're going to talk about what they want in the future, and kind of just fill them out so you can compare and contrast when you're offline with them. So yeah, you're preparing yourself for a large, overwhelming response in the hundreds. So in 2 days after you followed our first steps in the other video, you're going to have hundreds of Filipinas communicating with you, asking you questions, and if you don't have a system of how to deal with it, you're going to go through that bunch, you're going to ask them and reply to a bunch of questions, and you will forget. You will forget all of these responses. So prepare yourself for that one. Step 7 is refine our search and continue to refine. So after we have these responses, we're about 30 days into our program, 6 or 8 weeks, and we have a pretty good idea of who's responding and who's not responding. And you want to, again, continue from the 200 we have, and by the end of 6 weeks, we want about 10. So it's okay to let them disqualify themselves by not answering. It's okay to let them disqualify themselves by saying, I don't have time for a relationship. It's okay to disqualify themselves because they have 3 kids and you only want 1 kid. It's okay to disqualify themselves for whatever reasons you feel that you need to. And how do you do that? How do you just say that? Many cases, by stopping the response and the replies to them, they get the clue pretty fast that you are not interested in them. So if they send you 2 messages, and you don't reply to them, they're probably going to get that clue.
Just don't reply and they will understand automatically, or just tell them the truth that you find somebody else.
Yeah, so just be gentle with that one. So step 7 is, again, search, communicate, and refine, and make sure that you narrow it down to almost 6 women that now you can start developing all of your time with. And at this time, step 8 is start the videos. Start doing the video chats, and that's the hardest part, I think.
I remember our first video call. It was a quick video call just to see if we are real person, if we are moving or not. So
well, some of the things to look for, again, in the video call is the background. What kind of background is it? Does it look like it's in an office building? Does it look like it's one of these places where you have a scammer mill? That means all the scammers are calling all these people. Do you hear people in the background that are talking about, oh, money and oh, this, and it looks like they're having conversations? And next, look at their lips. Are their lips moving, or is this just a picture of somebody in the corner that you really can't see that you're communicating with?
Is that really happen?
Oh yeah, you know that.
Oh yeah, because it's really hard if you encounter scammer people.
Well, although this isn't about scammers, understand the Philippines is a third world country, and the people, men and women, will do anything that they can to feed their family. And if that means saying a white lie on a video call with a Westerner to send them some money, then they're going to do that. It happens quite often. So prepare yourself. On your first video call, they might disqualify themselves because they're not openly communicating with you eye to eye. Are they nervous? Right. Do they sound like they're pre-programmed with questions? You should be as nervous as they are if you're communicating with them, and just be aware of that. So look for those signs online. Ask simple questions in the video call, like again, ask something about their country. What's their favorite food that they know how to cook?
Just like he asked me, what are you doing? What's your dinner for tonight?
Yeah.
So sometimes when he calls me, when we video call, that time I was cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah. So cooking or whatever they're doing, just make sure it's real.
That's right.
Step number, let's see, where am I at? I lost my track. 8, we just did 8. Looking at step 9. At this time, you're probably, again, 6 weeks into the program, and you probably have 1 girl or 2, don't hate me, 1 or 2 girls that you want to start communicating with exclusively. And you want to ask them. You want to ask them, is it okay if you and I only communicate exclusively? So that means that you're only communicating with them when you can, and they're only communicating with you. So it kind of stops that clutter of the online distractions with other men and other women. Now, I'm not going to say ethically that you have to, only communicate with one person. I did, because I feel that ethics are important to me. But if you were only communicating, say, with 3 women, that's probably pretty much exclusive at this time of the game, because you're really trying to get to know them. Ask them detailed questions, put it on your report page, and move on. And then at some point, though, you do need to narrow it down to one exclusive girl, one exclusive Filipino woman that you can say, we are now developing an online boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. It's important that you solidify that, because why? It's letting the woman know that you're serious for a one-on-one relationship. And it's actually looking at the woman. Is she serious about developing a one-on-one relationship with you, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it's exclusive, meet and visit these online relationships on Skyping or on the telephone or Skyping or something like that you use. And then in conclusion, that's step 10, is to prepare for a visit. By this point, you're probably 2 months or 3 months into your relationship, and now is the time that you want to start saying, yes, I want to go visit. Now, if you're open and you're ethical and you're communicating with 2 or 3, other women that you just can't decide from, in my opinion, be open with them, the other women, and say, I'm still looking at this person, I'm going to go visit. And the visit is oh so important, because you want to make sure that you're able to sit in the same room together and you have some kind of connection. Something that you can, sure, it's awkward at first, but you need to have a connection. Is this person pleasant to be around? I mean, I can write a whole story about myself and make myself look very awesome and very pretty and very happy, very rich, very famous, whatever. I can write all those words, but in real life, am I that person? Are they the person that you sent them? Do they remember the questions that you were asking them in the beginning? And visit 2 or 3 women if that's what you feel you need to do, and be ethical about it. And then from that, you should be able to narrow it down to one person that you're going to continue this relationship with, and hopefully move into a serious relationship like marriage.
Yeah, seeing each other in person, that's really important. So because just communicating through email or video chatting, it's still different when you see each other in person.
Yeah.
So seeing each other in person, that's the most exciting it's most exciting day for me. I remember our first meeting in person.
Oh yeah.
I was in the airport and very nervous and excited to see him.
And I could tell that I was also nervous because a lot of reasons, but I'm glad that we were able to develop our relationship and move forward with it. So that concludes the 10 steps that we have laid out for you to hopefully find a positive relationship with a Filipino woman. Steps 1 through 10, the other video has the other half of it. So we hope that you're able to develop a relationship, go on the visit, and find somebody special to add to your life. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our station.
Yeah, subscribe so you guys will be updated for the next video.
Leave comments,
and please like our channel.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.